Hello and welcome to CYC News for the 30th of October 2021 and the 20th of Baba 1738 AM. I'm Anne Michael. In today's headlines, Biden announces overhauled $1.75 trillion social spending plan. French and Australian leaders hold first talks after submarine row. Australia ends ban on citizens leaving country. Israel boosts plans for 3,000 new homes in West Bank settlements. The double vaccinated can still spread COVID-19 at home. Javi to become next Barcelona manager. But first, US President Joe Biden has unveiled a revamped $1.75 trillion spending plan, calling it a historic investment in the country's future. He said, "No one got everything they wanted, including me," acknowledging the struggle within his party to reach consensus on a pair of landmark bills. Narrow margins in Congress require nearly unanimous support from the Democrats for the bills to pass. They include major investments in infrastructure, climate, and childcare. The White House has said the plan has the support of all 50 Democrats in the evenly divided Senate and expressed confidence that it could also pass the House. But it remains to be seen whether Mr. Biden has achieved the level of cooperation needed from within his party to move the spending plan forward. The administration has hoped to have a deal in place before Mr. Biden's trip to Europe this week. President Biden will travel to Rome, the Vatican, and later to Glasgow for the United Nations Climate Conference, COP26. This new proposal is thought to be a stripped-down version of the roughly $3.5 trillion social spending plan favoured by progressives. French President Emmanuel Macron and Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison have held talks for the first time since a major row over a scrapped submarine deal. Mr. Macron's office said he told Mr. Morrison by phone that last month's incident had broken the relation of trust between our two countries. Mr. Morrison's office said the two leaders had a candid discussion. Paris was furious after Australia cancelled the multi-billion-dollar deal to build 12 submarines. Instead, Australia said it was negotiating a new defence pact with the US and the UK. France reacted by recalling its ambassadors to Australia and the US and is also demanding financial compensation. The pact, widely seen as an effort to counter China's growing military might, will let Australia build nuclear-powered submarines for the first time, using technology provided by the US. China has condemned the agreement as extremely irresponsible. Back home to Australia now, and the federal government has confirmed it will lift a ban this week that has prevented its own citizens from travelling overseas without permission. Australia have spent 19 months under some of the world's strictest border rules in an effort to keep out COVID-19. From the 1st of November, people will no longer need an exemption to leave the country, provided they are fully vaccinated. The government said only Australians are eligible, but some rules for foreigners will be relaxed soon. In a statement, Home Affairs Minister Karen Andrews said, "Before the end of the year, we anticipate welcoming fully vaccinated skilled workers and international students." Prime Minister Scott Morrison had foreshadowed the reopening of Australia's border, saying it was time to give Australians back their lives. At present, people can only leave Australia for exceptional reasons, such as essential work or visiting a dying relative. Entry is permitted for citizens and others with exemptions, but there is a tight cap on arrival numbers. This has left tens of thousands stranded overseas. To Israel now, where the government has advanced plans for more than 3,100 new homes in Jewish settlements in the occupied West Bank. A planning committee gave its final approval for 1,800 housing units and preliminary approval for 1,344 others. The announcement follows a public rebuke of Israeli policy from the US President Joe Biden's administration. It warned that it strongly opposed the expansion of settlements because it damaged prospects for peace between Israel and the Palestinians. More than 600,000 Jews live in 145 settlements built since Israel's occupation of the West Bank and East Jerusalem in the 1967 Middle East War. Most of the international community considers the settlements illegal under international law, though Israel disputes this. The Palestinians have called on the world to confront Israel over the aggression constituted by settlement construction on land they claim for a future independent state. In some health news, double-jabbed people are catching COVID-19 and passing it to those they live with, warn experts who have studied UK household cases. Individuals who have had 2 vaccine doses can be just as infectious as those who have not been jabbed, even if they have no or few symptoms. The chance of them transmitting the virus to other unvaccinated housemates is about 38%. This drops to 25% if housemates are also fully vaccinated. The Lancet Infectious Diseases work shows why getting even more people vaccinated and protected is important. They say unvaccinated people cannot rely on those around them being jabbed to remove their risk of getting infected, they warn. Vaccines do an excellent job of preventing serious COVID illness and deaths, but are less good at stopping infections, particularly since the emergence of the more infectious Delta variant, which is dominant in the UK. And over time, the protection offered by vaccines wanes and needs boosting with further doses. And in sport, Barcelona legend Xavi may soon be confirmed as the club's new manager. The former Barca midfielder and club legend is one of the favourites to replace Ronald Koeman, who was sacked last week following a poor start to the season. It is the first time since September 1987 that Barca have lost 3 away games in a row without scoring, leaving the club 9th in the table and 3rd in their Champions League group. Xavi is the leading candidate to take charge at Barcelona, but the Catalan club must first reach an agreement with Qatari club Al Sadd, where the 41-year-old is under contract as the team's manager until June 30, 2023. And that's all for CYC News. A reminder that you can watch this news bulletin again throughout the week on YouTube. I'm Ian Michael from CYC Studios in Sydney, Australia. See you next time.